Welcome to the Romance Podcast, our season finale of the Romance Podcast. We made it for one season, babe. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations to you. And a season was really like a year. We started last January.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've been plugging at this for a while.
One of our first or second or third episodes was in the delivery room when you gave birth to Marino. It was crazy.
It wasn't us recording it there. He just posted it while we were in there. It wasn't like a live birth.
The timing was very tough for this podcast, but you know what? Here we are, one season down. And for the record, breaking news right here, there will be a season 2 next year. We don't know the release date yet, but this is the last episode of season 1. There will be a season 2. So thank you to each and every one of you for listening, because you make it worthwhile. It's so cool to see comments and get feedback about people who like this podcast. It makes it worthwhile for us, right?
Yep. We're just going into obviously like the holiday season here. And so we're going to relax and enjoy the holidays, and then we'll hop back in.
Yeah. And we're going to kick off the new year. Breaking news right here. Second breaking story.
Oh, what?
Kenzie and Roman are co-hosting ABC7 Chicago's New Year's Eve special. It's called Countdown Chicago 2025, and we are co-hosting the big special.
Well, it's not that big of news because this will be our 4th year doing it.
Come on, celebrate.
It's not like a surprise.
You know, I have a thing where you celebrate every win, and this is a win because this is the #1 New Year's Eve special in Chicago. And yes, we are blessed enough to be doing it for our 4th year in a row. We have to thank Justina, the executive producer. She has really put us on this special all 4 years.
Yes.
And then the entire hosting talent pool of Ryan Severini, Val Warner, Cheryl Scott, Terrell Brown, Jose Sanders.
Yes.
They have all welcomed us with open arms. So we are so glad to be back. We're part of that team. And here we go.
That's our crew. That's our New Year's Eve crew. So it's so fun. It's so special. And I have to say, even today we did something really cool for that.
You're in full makeup. Why, baby?
I know. Well, not really. Like my version of full makeup. I'm not like one of my crew does it, and I actually look pretty.
You look beautiful. By the way, you realize Kenzie has a crew, right? You hear that?
Yeah.
Roman does not have a crew. Kenzie has a crew.
Well, I'm a girl.
You are. Yeah, you are.
So get over it. And I like to look nice. So whatever.
You always do.
And I'm not that good at makeup, so I like to hire people. So anywho, shout out to Pin Me Up Chicago. But today, it was really cool. They're doing something different kind of with their cut-ins. And I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah, don't say what it is.
So I'm not going to do that. But it was kind of compared to something SNL-y, which I was really excited to do. And
SNL-y, like SNL. Saturday Night Live, right? But I love SNL-y.
SNL-y. And I'm excited because that may be the closest experience I have to doing something with SNL ever.
Well, that's true. You never know. You're 29. You never know.
Which would be my dream to do something with SNL. I think that would be the height of like everything exciting for me. I would love to just be an idiot on live TV. I would love that.
Well, you have characters. I mean, you really are built for this.
I honestly, probably my #1 thing in life, which I know is like, it's like overshooting. Okay. Like, so I'm not like, oh, this is like next on my list. Yeah. I would love to be on SNL. And I know that I would never be the lead guest. Like, it wouldn't be like, oh, like Kenzie's the guest.
So you want to be like a cast member? If
I could do something like even just like the cast, like I would just die. Because I would love to be a total like idiot. I have no problem with that.
Lauren Michaels, who is like the man for SNL.
Of course.
He is an avid listener of our podcast.
He is.
So right now, give him one of your characters, because you have so many
characters.
Give him one of your characters. You got Sebastian. You have Harry Carey. You have the nanny.
I think I do. Well, first off, I do Janice from Friends and the nanny.
They're kind of the same person.
Just similar experiences. But I can go, oh my God.
I mean, Lauren, if you're listening, she's available to be on the cast. All right. Like
I would die. I would have died to go to heaven. But no, so this is probably the closest thing I'll ever have to an SNL vibe. I was very excited, but we went to these like little quick cut videos, and I'm really excited, and I cannot wait to see how they turn out. The only thing that sucked is that I really should have hired hair and makeup. I was like, you know what? These videos are going to be so fast. I won't. And I just like totally hated.
Stop.
Like, I just ended up hating how I looked. I think that every girl can relate to that when you do your hair and makeup, and you're like, well, that's not how I envisioned it in my head. Like
crazy.
How
we're driving home, and she goes, babe, do you think I'm so pretty? I'm like, yes. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're gorgeous.
Because when I see a picture of my face, I want to drive off of a road.
Oh
That's why. Do you ever like feel good and then you see a picture and you're like, what the fuck happened? Like between like, did I get hit by a bus before my finger hit like the click?
Oh man.
What happened? Like, I'll look in the mirror and be like, okay, we can work with that. And then I take a picture and I'm like, Did I just give birth? Is this me like in the
Crazy.
hospital room?
You look so good right now.
I don't understand. So anywho.
You look amazing. And for the record, go to our socials at Kenzie and Roman. We put a behind the scenes like reel up. You can see Kenzie, you can see me. You could be a judge, like, does she look good? Does she not? She does, by the way.
Feel free to not DM me if you think I don't look good.
I had the opposite experience today. I was on the train and you wanted like a selfie, and I was like, I hate my selfies always. Except today, I kind of took a good one. I was very happy.
Well, I'm happy you feel hot, bitch. Fuck you.
And I posted that on my. It was so good. I'm like, I'm gonna post it because I don't have many of myself.
By the way, I do think it's very tainted when you send me a photo that you're supposed to be like, kind of like, ooh, look at me, to me, and then you just post it for the world.
Because my social media, my personal at Live with Roman is like mainly you, our collaborations,
not true.
Tristan, Marino. It's never just me, which is fine. But like this was a picture of me that I was like, I kind of like it.
The private pictures I take for you, if I posted those on social
Watch
media,
your mouth.
You would be so mad.
They are very different private photos than what I sent you today. And
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you watch your mouth. All right. Anyways, you look beautiful. You can check out our podcast on YouTube right now. You can see her in person. This is her. She's gorgeous. I don't know. You're insecure in certain ways. You got to get over it because you're gorgeous.
Yeah.
All right. So we did a little promo. Very excited about the New Year's Eve special coming up on New Year's Eve. And
if you're wondering what it is.
Yeah. So we did the promo today. The cool thing as well is, humble brag here, since our last podcast, we actually won our third Emmy for our work on Countdown Chicago the past 3 years. So congratulations to our entire ABC7 Chicago family. Again, Justina, Ryan, Val, Cheryl, Terrell, Jose, everyone involved behind the scenes. Everyone's been so great to us. We all won our third Emmy. Well, we won our third Emmy in a row.
They have more.
They have a few more.
We joined the crew, again, about to be 4 years ago. So.
Yeah, so we won our third Emmy, and we're very, very proud of that. I mean, who would have thought? You have big dreams in life. I know you do. You're a big dreamer. I mean, did you think...
Like SNL.
Yeah. Did you think 5 years ago when you kind of created the Kenzie and Roman brand that we would actually have Emmys, our own TV, our own show, our own podcast? Did you think that? I feel like you thought it was going to be a radio thing, but it's turned into a TV thing.
I mean, full disclosure, I think that I have turned out to be a pretty like blunt person about stuff. Maybe I'm a little bit too honest sometimes, but I did at the time during the pandemic, I was solo dolo. I always wanted like a morning show, right? And I thought, well, it'd really be good to partner up with somebody, because when you want a morning show, sometimes it's good to already have somebody you can do one with. It's not always like, oh, there's one slot open or something like that. Yeah. So I really wanted to have a brand. And I genuinely had to twist your arm and you're like, I'm not doing stupid couple stuff. I'm like, well, yes, you damn well will. Put this hat on and get in this video. Yeah. And I had to force you into it. And I really thought if we had any success, it would be in radio. I'm in radio. You're in radio forever. Like, that's kind of what we had mainly done. I had some TV experience, and so do you. But of course, that had been our main career path. You look like you're dying to interrupt the question you asked me.
I'm saying, and that for a while, that's what we thought was about to happen. We were kind of given some promises behind the scenes, and like we thought Kenzie and Roman on the radio was happening. That's kind of where we were going and where we thought we were going to end up.
But what ended up turning out was, ABC invested into us, which was like amazing. Yeah. Then we got our own TV show on Marquee Network. Yeah. Now we obviously have, this podcast, a very visual experience if you're watching it. Right. And so I'm surprised because I saw it going more of a radio route, and I thought that would be very successful. Yeah. But it really is this TV brand now. So to answer your question, I did not see Emmys. I saw huge success, but I did not realize it would be in the realm of TV. Yeah, That's not what I anticipated.
It's crazy. We were like raised for radio, right? Because I'm a 15-year Chicago radio veteran. You are a 10-year veteran now in radio?
11 years.
I mean, we have these decorated radio paths. We were built for radio, yet we're finding success as Kenzie and Roman on TV, which is nuts.
That's where it's worked, and that's awesome. Fine with me. I'm very, very happy.
No complaints.
Yeah.
So, this is not funny, but it was very awkward how we found out we won our third Emmy. Okay, so because we have Marino, we have to be very, very picky and choosy of when we can go out together. We've already explained like babysitters and all.
We don't have a lot of babysitting options, so end of story. There.
So we were watching the Emmy Awrd show on TV that night, right? Mm-hmm. And we're like, oh, this is our category, and we're cheering, we're all excited, and we were nominated. The category was like live event, like TV coverage.
Best TV coverage of a live event is the category. So the Emmys are broken down, because you wouldn't know this just watching.
Yeah.
The Emmys are broken down, especially from a regional category, into very specific things. So it's not like you just won the one Emmy in Chicago. That's not how it works. So it's live TV coverage of an event. So an event could be New Year's, an event could be like, say, when Barack Obama won and you cut to his speech live. If you covered that amazingly, it didn't matter. So live coverage of an event. Then there's like pre-recorded shows that when there's all these different categories, there's rules of how much of it can be pre-recorded, etc.
So we were at a live event and our New Year's Eve show, very, very excited. So we're standing up, we're cheering, we're going crazy. We're filming this, by the way.
And we're in our living room.
Yes.
Because we stayed at home to watch it. And we don't know who else is nominated. Like you don't know any of that. So we're just literally in real time, like, we knew we were nominated, but we hadn't seen the clips that they were going to pick.
Yes.
So we're like, oh, look at that. And we had no idea who else was in the category. To be honest, like, I think every year before this, it's always been another New Year's Eve. Those are usually stations' largest live productions. Yeah. So usually it's another New Year's Eve special.
This year it was not that.
It was not.
So we're standing up, getting excited. We're cheering. We're like, oh, it's our category. And the only other nominated live event was, unfortunately, a police officer in Chicago had been shot, and the TV coverage of that funeral, was the other nominated event. So,
and we were kind of like really surprised. I was like, because like I didn't know this one would be nominated, and then like 2 seconds later, it's our face. You're like, oh, look at that, okay.
That's what was so weird about it, was because obviously the most important thing is that fallen police officer, for sure, most important.
Oh yeah.
But the nominations was about the TV coverage of this event.
Well, that's the thing, is that we obviously we win, and then there's some people like on social media like, that's so messed up, and I'm like, wait.
As if we were responsible. Like, it's not our call.
One, okay, there's a handful of things to this.
Yeah.
Well, one, we're not even kind of involved in it. Two, this is not what event was better, what event has more significance. It has nothing to do with that. This is also not the family or the police officer. This is a station going, we thought we did a really good job at airing that.
TV coverage of the event.
So that's what people don't realize. This isn't like, oh, you're going to win this massive, reward. And it could, here's what gets won. If that station, because I'm not going to name the station that put that coverage up, they decided not to put a New Year's Eve coverage up this year. They put that up. Very strategic, by the way. I think they thought that would get more votes. Yeah. Anyways, they put that up. Guess what happens? If they won, they would have gotten Emmys.
Right.
The family doesn't get anything. There's no benefit. It's not. And by the way, the Emmys cost a lot of money. You don't just get an Emmy.
No.
You have to pay to enter. Oh, congratulations. Now we've accepted you. Oh, you won? Pay more money for your statue. Yeah. So here's the thing. It's not like, oh my gosh, if the winner gets $10,000, the family should have gotten that.
Yeah.
There's nothing. If that would have won, the family doesn't receive anything. Yeah. Even though that was the coverage of that event, it's no affiliation. Like, just like New Year's Eve isn't owned by ABC. It's just how they specifically are covering New Year's Eve.
It made for a very, very exciting yet awkward celebration for us.
It was Akko Taco.
There's a video at Kenzie Roman, because we didn't know what was nominated. So we're like all excited, and then we see that, and we're like, oh. And then they announced that we win, and we're like, yeah, because listen, we are excited that we won. It was awesome. It was a great moment.
And we have the knowledge knowing it's not like, oh my gosh, but this family could have received. It's just people getting statues because they covered that event. Yeah. And we're mentally aware of that.
Yes.
But people not involved look at, what was better, something for this cop or New Year's Eve, which is not in reality what that is.
So we had a couple of negative comments about it, a lot of positive comments, but a few negative, and it's like, listen, there is no doubt of what was more significant in this world.
That's not the question.
We love the police. We support the blue, like, beyond belief. We have so many friends that are cops. But the TV coverage of ABC's New Year's Eve last year won the Emmy, and we're very proud of it. Again, congrats to the entire ABC 7 Chicago family. Our third in a row. Hopefully after this New Year's Eve, maybe we'll get a fourth. But anyways,
maybe we'll get a fourth. We'll see.
This New Year's Eve, we had to ask our executive producer, Justina, are we going to be outside again, like we have been for a couple years?
They love putting us outside. And she goes, listen, I know that if I put you guys outside, you're not going to say anything about it. Some people don't want to do it. And we're like, son of a nutcracker. Because I was like 9 months pregnant. I was like last year, and I was the size of a house.
We've done 2 outside already at the pierogi drop in Whiting, Indiana. And we love it. We do love it. It's cold, but we love it.
It is cold, but it also is the most high energy. It's also the most fun we've had.
Yeah. We are going to be indoors this year. Thankfully, we're going to be in Little Village, which is in Chicago, obviously, and a mariachi band, a DJ. We're going to be indoors. But the last time we were inside was 2 years ago at Old Crow Smokehouse in Wrigleyville. It was an awesome party, awesome time. You looked amazing. We had a good chemistry going on, but there was a technical problem that nobody really knew about. Tell them what was going on.
Mayhem that year. I was so excited to be inside, and honestly, it was the worst year out of all of them. Like, you wouldn't know watching it, but for me personally, so what happened is they brought headphones that were battery operated. So that way we can hear everybody. So when we're doing New Year's Eve, in our ear, we can hear Cheryl, Terrell, Val, Ryan, because we toss it to each other. We ask questions. Yeah. We need to know what's going on other sites, because every once in a while it's like, hey, we're actually doing an extra cut here. We have to know what's going on.
Yes.
They didn't bring backup batteries, and our headphones died. We had zero sound in our ears. We couldn't hear anything. So as we're sitting on live TV smiling, we can't hear Val and Ryan go, so you guys are at Old Crow. We couldn't hear. And we're like texting them going, do not ask us a question, because we're going to go, smile and nod, boys, smile and nod. We had nothing. Yeah. And we would sit there, because also in your ears, they'll tell you like, and you're on camera and you're off camera. Yeah. So we would sit there and smile like at the end of being done talking for probably like an extra 15 minutes, because we had no idea if we were off camera yet or not.
Yeah, it's almost the equivalent of like being on TV naked. You just feel like naked without your headphones.
Zero form of communication to tell you something's. You could be like completely out of frame, because they could tell you that, like, oh my gosh, move to the left, we can't see you. Yeah. You're like, all right, well, I hope my body's on the screen. I got nothing.
So we kind of had to freeball it, We're just kind of like, and we're such good friends with Ryan and Val, where we were afraid if they were going to follow up and ask us the question, and we wouldn't hear their question, and then it would just feel stupid. They'd feel stupid, we feel stupid. But thankfully, if you watched it back 2 years ago, nobody knew there was a problem, but it was a very technical, scary situation for us as the host, because we couldn't hear anything.
Not a single thing. It is very terrifying to go on TV on New Year's Eve and not have any of that communication. They would just point to us. They're like, okay, it's on you. You're like, cool.
So for the 4th year in a row, we will be on ABC 7 Chicago on New Year's Eve. Hopefully you guys can watch that. We have so much fun. And honestly, the ratings are so big. It is the most watched show in Chicago on New Year's Eve. We're very, very proud of that. And to be honest, it's a phenomenal show. Terrell and Cheryl have this dance that they choreograph and they work so hard at, and it's become a Chicago staple. And we're very, very fortunate to be part of that show that has that amazing lead-in by them. I know, actually, you say SNL is one of your dreams, but the other dream of yours, you said you were dying to be in the dance number with Cheryl and Terrell.
No one ever asks me. I want to be in it. I walk around ABC and I do little twirls, and I do, I just show that I can touch my toes here and there. No one ever asked me. I'm like, oh my gosh. I do a little pas de bourrée, nothing. Nobody asked me anything.
We were once, a year or 2 years ago, in Dancing with the Stars out here in the suburbs. Yeah. And we did not win. I thought we were great. I really thought we had a great number.
Can I say that the dance, this is where you're going to piss me off. I hate when you just throw stuff out here.
Yeah, it's true.
Without the details.
Well, yeah.
Why didn't we win? We didn't win because, I'm going to answer the question because you're going to ruin it. Okay. We didn't win because every dollar was a vote. You didn't vote on your favorite.
It was for charity, by the way. So
right. Okay. But usually, like, they actually just vote on the dance. You just attend. You get to watch the dances. You get to vote on your favorite. People got to also pay for votes, which nobody told us, before you got there. So somebody showed up and had like 1,000 votes because they got people to donate all week. And it was like, it's not even about the dance. You just fundraised the most money. Which is fine, but we're not going to act like we got like creamed or something on the dance floor.
We did great.
Because it did not happen.
I had to do like a lift. I had to do like a Kenzie K lift.
We did salsa into bachata. It was freaking beautiful.
It was good.
Yeah, so I don't want to hear about it.
But we didn't win. I mean, there's no lie in saying we did not win that year. But you know what? Maybe if we're lucky next year to do New Year's Eve, Cheryl and Terrell will ask you to be part of the dance.
I don't think they're ever going to ask me. They never ask me. I'm always like, when are you guys doing that dance? And then they tell me, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so free that night. I feel like I have nothing to do that. No one lets me dance.
Well, not only are you talented at dancing, you're also a phenomenal cook. And I want to brag on your behalf for a second because Kenzie hosted her first Thanksgiving forever. And I know it wasn't on Thanksgiving, but it was a few weeks later because of Marino, tearing your cornea.
Yeah.
We had to,
when he put a hole in my eye, we had to delay the whole Thanksgiving.
Last episode, you've heard all details about that, but we finally had the Thanksgiving dinner you were supposed to do back then over the weekend, and you did a phenomenal job. The turkey, the sweet potatoes, the stuffing, everything you did was a home run, and congratulations. How did it feel hosting Thanksgiving for the first time?
It felt like a rite of passage. I kind of felt like more of a woman in a weird way. Does that... it's like a weird thing. Yeah. If you're the cook of the family, you don't have to be male or female, but if you're like the cook of the family to actually do your first Thanksgiving, because I had to map it out. What people don't get, it's not about knowing how to cook or not. It's honestly has nothing to do with that. It's about figuring out when the hell everything is going to go in the oven for it to come out at the right time, which I hate math.
You were so stressed, by the way. Oh my gosh.
The night before, I labeled out both of my ovens, and then I wrote down every dish, how long it needed to be in the temperature. So that way I wasn't running back to recipes trying to figure that out the next day. Yeah. And then I mapped out when should so when I pull the turkey out to rest 20 minutes, that's when rolls can go in. I had a game plan of the order of those items and when they'd go into the oven. And that took me an hour to write out. Yeah. If I'm I could probably keep that warm, pop that back in for 5. That's the problem. I found out I need 4 ovens.
Yeah.
Some people want a double oven household, and I would like 4.
Yes. Okay.
Is what I would like.
We better win some more Emmys because we have 2.
We only have 2.
Sorry, babe. We only have 2. But it was great. I thought it was perfect. You said there were 2 things you wish would have been better. Do you want to confess what those were?
So the problem is that nothing happens exactly on time. So I wanted to do I did a really nice charcuterie board when everyone showed up, and I wanted that to be as fresh as possible because, it's cheese, meat, you don't like that sitting out. You want that nice and cold. Okay. So I was okay, it's 15 minutes before people get there. Let me start. That was so dumb. It takes way more than 15 minutes to make a charcuterie. I don't know. I wanted it to be fresh, and that was the issue. Okay. So what I should have done it much earlier and then started my sweet potatoes. So I had the sweet potatoes for the casserole boiling, okay, because they need to get soft. But the charcuterie board took me longer and longer and longer, and my sweet potatoes just kept boiling. Oh. And I was kind of well, it's fine because I'm just going to mash them up anyway. And I'm just going to mash them up, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. But they got way too soft. Oh. And so my sweet potato casserole, which had really good flavor.
It was so good.
It should have been stiffer, though. It should have been the texture of a mashed potato. Okay. But it was a little soupier, not soupy. You could put it on a plate, it doesn't run. Yeah. But it should have just had a little more thickness, a little more girth. All and right. That pissed me off.
For the record, it was my favorite dish of the night, so I loved it. I thought it was great.
It did taste. The flavors were on point. The topping was on point because I did this brown sugar pecan crust on top. So good. Turned out phenomenal. It should have had a little, I should have been poof, on a plate. It should have stuck up. Okay. And that pissed me off because of my stupid charcuterie board antics. I don't know why I decided to push it the way I did. I was just mad at myself. Okay. So that happened. And I should have taken the potatoes off. Anyways.
Move on.
And the only other thing that happened is my whipped cream didn't set up. And I have to say, I did that right, so I don't know what the hell happened. I've made whipped cream 100,000 times in my life. Yeah. I prefer fresh whipped cream because traditionally it's really easy. The only other time in my life my whipped cream hasn't set up, and I haven't made this mistake since, is I make sure everything's cool. So the thing that helps with whipped cream is that you put your beaters in the freezer. I always use a metal bowl and make sure that the whipping cream has been in the fridge. And a lot of times I pop some ice cubes in that metal bowl for a few minutes before I whip it. Keeping it cold helps it sip. And when it's warm, sometimes it just isn't set. So everything was freezing. I got it nice and peaking, and it was good. And then I popped that thing in the fridge. The only thing I could think of is I was wearing my baby on the front of me Marino, when I was making it. I kept lifting it up. I think that I should have taken, I normally take a spoon to it, and I'm oh, the bottom's still a little loose, and then I go. I was I think it kind of looks like it's peeking on the top, so I think my vision was slightly impaired as I was doing this while my baby was slapped to my front.
And he'd also torn your cornea a few weeks ago, too. And he tore my cornea out. Your depth perception may have been a little off. Yeah, not your fault. Not your fault.
But I was this is BS. So neither thing was as lumpy as it needed to be. That was it. Those are the only 2 things that went wrong. It was delicious.
Congratulations on your first Thanksgiving hosting. It was awesome. My family had a blast, and they loved the food. It was great. One more brag about Kenzie is last week was your hell week. You literally were Wonder Woman. You went from the morning show at Q101 to staying downtown to do their Twisted Christmas. Is not a one-night concert. It's a 4-night concert. So you literally did morning show, Twisted Christmas, morning show, Twisted. like literally you were gone all week from your family. I know you hated that
I
part
hated
of it,
that.
but you crushed it and you did great shows all week, and then you hosted all the big events. I mean, like it was the week from hell, but you survived and you did great, right?
I know. And then I came off that week and then I cooked Thanksgiving dinner. It was one of the busiest weeks of my life.
Yeah.
I have to say, but thank you. I really appreciate it. And I tried, because the problem is obviously Twisted Christmas always lands on the holiday season, which that's tricky. Not being able to do stuff like mid-December, that's a prime shopping week, baking week. That's a lot on like the woman of the house when you're trying to make the damn Christmas magic. Yeah. Okay. And I wanted to make it easy on my husband because he had both kids alone, which I also felt really bad about. So I'm very sorry.
Yeah. First off, you don't have to apologize. They're my kids. Second off, you never give me enough credit. Like, you came into my life when Tristan was 5, but like up until that point, I was a single dad. I was raising him by myself. So like I've done this. I can do it. I know babies. I know toddlers. I got it. I feel like you phrase it where it's like I felt bad, but you actually don't trust me. Is what it is.
Well, I think you're a really good dad.
Thank
I
you.
really think that,
Thank
and
you.
you know that because if I thought you were a bad dad, I wouldn't have married you. I'd have been like weird. But I think that, and I think this is the case not with all, but with many men. The kind of like men and women stereotypes don't click for every single one. Of course, it's not copy and paste. But from what I've heard from even a lot of my friends, et cetera, is that I think guys do better with toddlers and kids. And that when you can like play your games, there's a reason there's a lot of women in like childcare and with baby. That's a very womanly, like maternal. Like it's a lot of like cuddling. They can't communicate. They can't do that. It's very tedious and detailed. And yes, we're gonna play the same game over and over again. And that's like you would love to go like play baseball outside. It's not. The baby jam isn't 100% your jam.
He's not good at grounders. He's not.
Exactly.
I gotta.
Because here's the thing: a lot of guys they're kind of big kids. They do love to still go outside and play sports. They sign up for sports with their buddies and do. So I think that a lot of guys, who choose to be present dads, that is their jam is when their kids hit that age because they enjoy that stuff.
I can fully admit that I'm a better toddler dad, and then as the kids get older, than I am as an infant baby dad. And full disclosure, when Tristan was born, early on in his like baby stage, I was on tour. I was in a music group, Jump Smokers. I was touring.
So you got a good break.
I was touring with Pitbull and Enrique Iglesias. I was all over the world, and I was obviously coming home, but like I wasn't just home 24/7 with Tristan at that baby 5-month-old, 6-month-old stage. I think it wasn't until he was about 1 year old that I really took the reins and like it was just me.
And
I am
that's
a better.
when they're
I am a
playing
better.
more. Yes,
I'm a better toddler dad than I am a baby dad.
That kind of break where you feel good about yourself and you were gone and you got the opportunity to miss them, then also makes you more tolerant of the over and over repetitive baby stuff. So that probably made you more like, this is really cute because I hadn't seen it in over a week, and this is funny versus I see this every effing day. So hey, it's not his fault.
No.
If you were on tour right now, you think Marino was a lot cuter. It's not his fault.
Pitbull, call me, dude. I gotta get back on tour.
Look at me. If you think for 2 seconds, Mina, that I'd fucking let you go to another country around some bitches while I'm home with 2 kids, look at me.
If Pitbull asked us to go on tour again, we'd do it.
If you think I'm going to reiterate what I just said.
Oh my God.
Your entire family would either be on tour with you, or you could it's a different world now, baby. Produce his shit right here in the house. If you think for 2 seconds, I'd be like, have fun in Japan, honey, with all the Pitbull's dancers. What?
That's not how it goes.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
If you think I was bored yesterday, I was not.
You're crazy.
I do not participate in these kind of activities.
If my music group was offered a big tour, you would not let us go?
I would come with.
Okay.
You would not be going alone on a tour.
So you love hypotheticals. Let's do hypotheticals.
Okay,
you
hit me.
currently work for Q101. You're the morning show.
Yeah.
I get offered a tour with Pitbull and making good money, whatever. You can't come on tour with us because you have a morning show job here in Chicago.
Well, let's see the schedule because some tour schedules are more weekend based. Also, I would go to my boss and be like, listen, I have to do this. So can I take my equipment and do it on the road? Like when I was,
to do this.
I have to do this. So I would bring my equipment and I would set it on up and I would do my morning show on the road. I would never quit my job.
Okay.
Obviously, unless you got offered millions to tour with Pitbull.
Then
I could finally focus on the kids, which is what I've always wanted to do. So I have an answer for all your fucking hypotheticals.
Pitbull, call me, dude. Let's go.
Call us.
We got to get back on the road.
Call us. If you think for a second.
All right. But don't you feel good like your busy time is over and now the holidays are here and
I'm really excited to just enjoy the holidays because last year, to be honest, I feel like I didn't enjoy them as much because I was so like, I'm about to give birth and pregnant, I could go into labor any second. And like, it's very like, you could totally go into labor a few weeks earlier, whatever. And I just kept thinking about it and there was a lot on my mind and like health and what's this going to be like. So I definitely wasn't relaxed by any means. I was just huge and scared. I was just fat and scared, baby.
Still
fat
beautiful.
and scared.
Still beautiful.
So now it's like, okay, we're here. It's actually kind of cool to be nearing Marino's first birthday. Yeah. And it's like, it's a year to really reflect back on. I have a lot of goals in this upcoming year, like really personal ones. And I have a lot to reflect on in this past year. I really accomplished a lot. And it's nothing that anybody would be impressed with, but it's something that, like, for me, like the boundaries that I pushed for myself, the amount that I found out that I can get done within 24 hours almost every day. Like, I really pushed myself because it was like, I need to be a mother to this baby. I need to rebound for health. It's really hard to be battling mental health after having a baby and then be like funny on the radio.
Yeah.
That's a whole other dynamic. So I had to completely separate from who I was as a human being and basically be a different version of myself on the radio because of what I was going through. Mm-hmm. We came a long way in our marriage. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot like breastfeeding. I think I'm actually a better friend after having a baby. Like a few of my friends got pregnant or had kids recently, and now I realize what I can do. If you haven't given birth and somebody's on maternity leave, it's hard to know what's going to make this easier for you? Like, what's better? And now I'm like, I know like 8 things I could do to help you out right now. Yeah. And I've tried to make sure that I'm always going to step up after somebody has a baby. And that was a new. So I've come a long way and I've learned a lot this year. Mm-hmm. And so I am proud of that.
You should be. I mean, I'm very proud of you. Like you're a superwoman and you're crushing it. And I mean, I want to clarify when you say that we've had problems in our marriage in the past. It's not a me and her thing. It's not like we don't get along. It's like, you put this baby in the middle of us and she's got a philosophy. I have a philosophy. We're stressed. We're tired. We're lack of sleep. Oof. There are some things that we just weren't gelling for a little bit. And you heard it on the podcast. I mean, it's not like we're keeping secrets.
Yeah, we don't hide it.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it was never us. Like, I feel like our relationship, me and you, we still, love each other tremendously. Like, I still get along. I mean, like today we were working together and we were downtown and we loving life, like it's all good. Like it was never us. It was like certain things around us that were stressing us out, maybe making you not the best version or me the best version of myself. And that was where a few of the problems came from.
And I do think that there's sometimes like resentment's a bit too strong of a word, but for lack of a better one, being the woman, and it's like, okay, you have this baby and you're dealing with a lot. And it's like, and you're the one breastfeeding. Like, you can't do that. And I'm trying to rebound.
I wish I could.
I wish you fucking could have too.
I wish I could breastfeed for
But
you.
it's like, your body's the one going through it. And you're the one going through the emotional stuff. And you're the one who's like, and now I had this baby and I'm just not in the shape I want to be in. And now and then and it's like, it's a little frustrating to watch you be like, well, we had a baby last week. I can go outside and play with Tristan. Like, you feel like frustrated where it's like, I don't understand why this has to be like you feel like it's just on you. Like, you got to, in a weird way, in moments, escape. And it wouldn't feel like you had a baby if you left the house and did something with Tristan. When I left, it's like, I need to pump. I need to do that. I never felt like I got to separate from it. Yeah. And that creates a lot of frustration. You want to talk about like, oh, you're at your boiling point, you need a break. Well, guess what? The break doesn't exist because you're stuck in that body. You're stuck with those health issues. You are stuck breastfeeding. And like, even if you want to stop breastfeeding, well, you got to wean off of it. Otherwise you get clogged ducts. It's not a fun time. Okay. So it's like, you can't just go, never mind, because then you're in pain.
Yeah.
So there was like frustrations where I'd be like, I don't think you understand how I feel right now and I want to explode, but it's not your fault that I feel like this, but also you don't have to feel like this. Mm-hmm. So, there was a lot of that. Like,
and then you were abusive. You hit me a lot.
I did. No, I did. So you could feel something.
I mean, parenting's tough, and but there's so many good moments, and I experienced one of my favorite parenting moments maybe ever this last week when you were gone. I had both boys, and I felt like I was doing a good job. I really did. Marino, he was eating, he was getting baths, he was sleeping well. Like
I'm happy that the children had food. Tristan, I was really excited about it.
Tristan had his lunch made. He was had his hair done, ready for school. Like I felt like I was really holding down the household. My mom helped out a lot too. She came over in the morning to help me out. So I felt like everything was going good, right? And then we had once a month we have a cleaning lady that comes through, Felicia. She's awesome, super nice woman, and she does more of a deep clean for our house. And every year at the last cleaning of the year, December, we give her extra as like a Christmas bonus, which is super nice.
Christmas bonus.
I was very appreciative of that. So she was saying goodbye to us, and Tristan goes, wait, and he runs upstairs into his room, and I didn't know what's going on, and then he comes back down maybe like 4 minutes later with a crisp 25. My God, I'm an idiot. With a crisp $20 bill.
I was like, he found a $25. I go, honey, that wasn't real. I don't know. He has counterfeit money. We have to find it.
You're messing up my edit point. With a crisp, I can't say it. With a crisp,
I think you have to leave it in.
With a crisp 25. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Oh my God, I ruined the whole story. Anyways, he came down with $20, all right, with a $20 bill, and he was like, hey, he gave it to her. He goes, thank you for all you do. And then she couldn't believe it. And then he runs upstairs in embarrassment. And I couldn't believe it. And I was like, and she was like, I have goosebumps in my arm. And then I walk her to the door, and she starts crying. Like, she's like, emotionally, she's crying. Like, she was so moved by it all. And I was like, wow, Tristan, that was so cool. So I say goodbye to Felicia, go upstairs, and I go, Tristan, like, that was so nice of you. What made you do that? And he got tears in his eyes, and he was like, well, she just works so hard, and I just want to make sure that she knows that we appreciate her. And it really like melted my heart, and I couldn't believe he did that, like unprovoked. Nobody told him to do that. He didn't know about a Christmas bonus, none of that stuff. He just did it on his own. And honestly, as a parent, that was one of those great times when you're kind of like, man, I've done a good job with this kid, like we've done a good job with this kid. It's one of those things where it's like, you really want to pat yourself on the back and be like, yeah, it can be tough at times. It can create friction at times, but man, parenting can be very, very, very rewarding.
I have to say, I'm so grateful. This is Justin that we had a conversation about this for you recently. I'm so grateful you let him do it. Justin has a habit of, I think Tristan probably has like $1,000 cash by now. He gets money for birthdays, Christmas, when he has piano recital, like as you do, like everyone, and like, especially because he has a really big family with all my family and your family. So he gets all these cards, stuff like that, which is awesome. And like, even my grandma sends Halloween cards with $20 in them. So he gets, they get these good paydays, right? And Tristan doesn't spend any of it. He's not like, oh, let me go to the store, let me buy this. Yeah. So he just has money. He never spends it.
He's saving.
Which is fine. I don't care. But every time he does want to buy something, Justin goes, no, we'll just buy it. And it sends me through the roof. Because I'm like, what? Like, he's like $500 upstairs.
It's not $500.
I bet he does.
I promise you he does
Maybe
not.
now he has $480 because he just gives somebody money. But he has all this money. And I'm like, listen, just let him, because he's actually wanted to buy stuff for people for, and just like, no, we'll do it. And I go, just let him have those moments where it feels good to like kind of spend your own money once. Like, I just bought this, or I just bought somebody's thing. I go, we'll never let him go without. I'll tell you what, I go, let him get to the end of his money because he's, bought a gift for somebody. I go, and then we'll figure it out. Because I really want to get this and I'm $10 short. I go, but could you just let him like do it? Because you kept every time. And I'm actually in shock he didn't go, Tristan, that was really sweet. Here's $20 because that's your go-to.
He's a great saver, and all of his birthday money. It's not like I'm just giving him money. Like, it's birthday money he's saving on, all these other things. So like we're doing it the way that we're doing it, and look at how nice and kind-hearted he was that he wanted to go give his own money to Felicia because he appreciates her and wanted to give her a little Christmas. I thought it was so sweet and so nice. So see, like, yeah, like save your money, buddy, and then look at boom, just makes us all like melt with that story,
Mm-hmm.
What's with you?
I'm just saying that's like such a you thing.
I tell a great story and you're just like, well, I'm glad you did it because.
That's not what I said.
Basically,
I'm saying that's like a very you thing. I thought for sure when you told me about this, you were going to go, so then I felt like we should give him $20 back. That's how you are. And then I said, I'm proud of you. That's what I said.
No, you're like, I'm shocked he didn't give me
am
money.
Shocked.
I'm shocked you didn't double it and give him $40.
I am. That's how you are.
Yeah. You see, guys, it's not us, it's the kids that are really like creating the stress here. You heard about travel baseball over the summer. You've heard about Marino. Like, it's not us. Like, we get along great. And you put these kids in the mix and then it's oil and vinegar.
They're always the problem, these kids.
Is that the right expression, oil and vinegar?
Yeah, they separate.
Yeah,
they separate.
All right. Well, anyways, it's been a very fun season, and again, like, we are very, very real on this podcast. Like, we have told you the highest of the highs for us, and we have really kind of walked through some of our lows. We don't have a lot of lows, but we've walked through them. We have not shied away from them. We have been a very, very honest and real podcast. And how do you feel this past year? How do you feel like it's been a good ride?
I do. I think it's been really good. Like I said, it was the biggest year. How interesting, because we started this podcast and it was the biggest year of change in our entire life.
Yeah.
So I think each podcast, we always felt drastically different from week to week when it comes to happiness, anger, sad. Like, it was always different, So
I was always happy with you, personally.
No, you weren't.
I was.
And that's fine.
100%.
You have to be honest about it.
100%.
You're so full of crap. You were mad at me 2 seconds ago. He's just full of it. But so no, I mean, I feel really good about it, and it's been a year of growth. And I think it's important to show those things too. There's a lot of people. You see people online, you're like, they're perfect. They have a perfect relationship. I obviously we don't post negative videos, we post funny ones. But when you listen to our podcast, we're really honest. We're like, we didn't get along this week. I mean, we share those. We do not have a fake perfect relationship. We don't do that. There's times where we do not get along or something really ruffles the other one's feathers. And we do share that. And I think that can help in. That's one of the reasons we started in the first place, is it can kind of help in this social media world that's a little fake.
Yeah.
When you really enjoy someone's relationship, you wish you had it. That does not mean that they honestly didn't argue an hour before that video. It really doesn't.
No. I mean, you've seen some horrible things. This is super morbid, but like some TikTok couples that were like the cheesiest couples in the world, and murders happen.
It's insane.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, and by the way, that is not us. It is never going to be us. No matter how mad I ever get.
Check the pond behind our house if I go missing.
No. But like, you see that because a lot of social media is very fake, and that's one thing I do think about our podcast, is that we are very real. I don't think anybody listening to our podcast is like, oh my gosh, they're the perfect couple, because our life is not perfect.
No.
I think it's pretty damn good though. I do love it. I know you love it as well. But it's not perfect.
No.
Anybody who you follow on social media that claims their relationship is perfect, I would say is a liar. Right?
Probably. Or I'm just really jealous of them.
Yeah,
one of the two.
Well, anyways, it's been a really fun first season. Thank you guys, for real. We don't want to gloss over this. Thank you for listening to this podcast. We never would have thought. Listen, we don't have 5 million streams a week. We know that, right?
We only have 1 million.
Yeah. But we do have a bigger number than we thought we'd ever have, and it makes us very, very happy and very thankful. So when we say thank you for listening, we truly do mean that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to our podcast. And because of this is our last episode this year and this season, but we promise to come back next year and next season bigger and better than ever. We're going to have a better podcast, be more consistent with it, better visuals. We're really excited about next year whenever that happens. But we do promise you there will be a season 2. But thank you so much for listening to season 1. We really appreciate it.
Woo!
But wait, we got to end with our
I'll
tag.
go with your thing.
Why don't you say it this time?
Because I don't say it. I think that's mainly why.
And the it she's referring to is you cannot spell romance without Roman.
There you go. A crisp $25 bill.
You mess it up too. It's not easy.
A crisp $25 bill.